The Pacific Coliseum in Vancouver, the site of today's fourth game of the second round as the Chicago Blackhawks take on the Vancouver. Get ready for game 4 from the Pacific Coliseum. We'll come back and get it started in a moment from beautiful Vancouver on the Blackhawk Network.
Ed Belfour, no surprise, gets a start once again. 7-3 with a 2.11 goals against average and a save percentage of over 92%. And Kirk McLean, 60th straight playoff performance. He's 4-6, 3.23 goals against average and a save percentage just under 90.
And the officials in the game tonight, led by referee Rob Schick. The linesmen are Kevin Collins and Swede Knox, the same pair that were here for game 3. And we wondered about the Vancouver lineup and the status of Jeff Brown. He will play. He's in the lineup. And I'm a little bit surprised that Vancouver, I thought if he was going to play, they'd probably dress 7 defensemen, but that's not the case. 6 blue liners are in their lineup as Adrian Aucoin has been replaced by Jeff Brown. And we'll have to keep a close eye on how well Brown can move. I know late in the St. Louis series, he was able to dress and basically just played on the power play for them, but his mobility very limited. He's got a bad leg, so let's go. Let's see how it goes as the draw is cleared into the Hawk zone, and Eric Weinrich moved it to the near side, and Poulin shoots it in. Dana Merzen put it around the boards. A bouncing puck eludes Chelios. Here comes Ojic up the left side. Tried to center one. Good poke check by Weinrich. He broke up the feed beautifully, and Chelios the other way. Lost the handle at center ice. Now Amani carried on. Gets over the Vancouver line. Amani turned center. The pass was behind Roenick. Now bounce to Poulin, and he had a crack in a bouncing puck, but couldn't connect as it cleared to center ice.
And a couple of big hits registered early. Jeremy Roenick just levels Jelena, and it looks like Vancouver's going to get a penalty for high sticking. The Canucks did not learn their lesson from the last game where they had 8 power plays against them, and it's Mike Pekka that's sent off for high sticking, and Pekka's fortunate that he is playing in this game because he is the one who slashed Gary Suter and broke his hand. He got the stick up and just missed Chelios, but Schick whistles him off anyway, and this is the last game.
Just 4 for 40 in the playoffs for the Blackhawk power play, and in this series 2 out of 13. Well, the Hawks had a multitude of opportunities early in game 3 to put Vancouver behind the 8 ball. Could not, but now another chance here in game 4 to set the home team back on their heels a bit. Face-off will be to the left of McLean as Nichols, Murphy, and Roenick are out there with Chelios and Weinrich. And the draw to the Canucks, Hedican. He clears. Now Chelios. Got it to Weinrich, who did well to receive the pass behind him, and now shoots it into the Vancouver zone. Over to the far side, took a funny hop to the Canucks, and Babbage outlets to Bure up right wing on Weinrich. Bure over the line, trying to cut to the net. Weinrich now a shot and a save by Belfour as Bure was forced to a bad angle by Weinrich and had to try to stop. And a save by McLean. Rebound to the Hawk, Roenick. He's got it on the far side, leaving it for Murphy. Cut to the net, rolled it loose, and the Canucks are able to clear.
Well, great passing by the Blackhawks, but Murphy just couldn't find the handle. And when he did, he was in too deep.
Here comes Savard now with a minute for the Hawk power play. Savard got the line, tried to center it, deflects off of Jelena to the far side. Chelios keeps it in. Tried to center, picked off. Merzen clears. Now Steve Smith gave it to Savard. He weaves to the Canuck line. Savard dropped it back to Poulin, top of the ring, center one, deflected away from Craven. Steve Smith held it in. Savard in the near corner, chipped it loose. Craven a drive, deflected up over the glass and into the crowd.
Already the Blackhawks showing a little more jump than they showed for most of that last game. And they look more ready to play.
And certainly it's been evident in their passing, Dale. That was really a weak spot in game 3, but a lot of the early attempts here in game 4 have been sharp.
Vancouver does not sit back. They get opportunities shorthanded, they go for it. Bure tried to go wide to the backhand, but Belfour was there to stuff it. And then Joe Murphy on a feed from Roenick was a tweener. He waited, then lost an edge, and then tried to flip it from a sharp angle, and Roenick hacked at it, but passes a bit behind Murphy, and he might have had a chance to score with a quick wrist shot.
Now the draw, bouncing around to the Vancouver zone to Merzen. Put it to the near side. Brent Sutter battles along the boards. Lume knocked it loose, but couldn't get it away from Graham. Now he does. And Jyrke Lume moved it to center, and Trevor Linden carries it to the Hawk line with a long shot up off the glass. And now the Vancouver penalty's over, and both teams are at full strength. As the puck bounces back into the Hog zone, Smith is on it. Steve Smith beating Brent Sutter. Going rink wide, he just shot it to the Vancouver line. Taken there by Jeff Brown, making his first appearance of the series. Cleared it to center, and Hedekin threw it in there. Bure racing for it. Bure lost it behind the Hawk net, and Didick able to send it back into Canuck territory. And it rolled just wide of the goal crease, so it will be an icing call against Chicago. It's early and scoreless on the Blackhawk Network.
Offensively and defensively.
Out there on a wing with Daze and Chance. Here's the draw, and Daze able to muscle it back to center ice, where Hedekin tried to move in, and he just can't get away from Daze. The big Hawk winger rookie Eric Daze doing a great job, as he has since he arrived in Chicago. The defensive part of the game. Now in the neutral zone, Ronning can't get away from Weinrich. And Daze chasing after it at center. But the Canucks' Hedekin comes up with it. And Momesso then shoots it in. Chris Chelios bounced it ahead. Jeff Shantz got hog-tied by Momesso at center. And Bure corrals for Vancouver. Pavel Bure cleared it over the line. Here's Ronning turning on the far side, sends it around the board. Roenick on the near side with Momesso bearing down on him. Roenick got an elbow from Momesso, and the Canucks keep it in, but Bore's pass deflected in behind the net. Ronning there. Cliff Ronning works against two Hawks. It's jammed loose, and Amani able to gather it in, and from his knees clear it down. There's going to be another Canuck penalty coming up here, and twice bad penalties have been taken here in the early going by the Canucks.
Well, Momesso got away with a hold, and then the elbow on Roenick, and then Bure gets caught for cross-checking. Once again, the Canucks taking some bad penalties early. Cross-checking on Bure, and the Blackhawks' second power play of the early stages. First the hook, and then the cross-check by Bure. But I think the fact that Momesso got away with the elbow on the earlier situation right in front of Schick forced that call.
So Roenick with Nichols and Murphy again to open the Hawk power play, which will start to the left of Kirk McLean. But don't forget, 7 shorthanded goals so far in the playoffs have been scored by Vancouver, and as Dale said earlier, they don't sit back. They get any sort of chance, they're going to take off. Here's the draw, taken by the Hawks. Far board Murphy, his pass stolen, and now Jelena, or I should say Pekka, bounced it back into the Hawk zone. Chris Chelios up the right side to Nichols. He tried to feed Weinrich but missed him. Eric Weinrich circles and gave it to Nichols, who hammers it in. Lume back of his own goal with plenty of time clearing to center ice. Now Weinrich got it to Murphy, steps into the Vancouver zone, stops at the far point. And Jelena got to him there, takes it away and rolled it to center. Nichols throws it back to an open side. Pekka first on it, clearing. First minute of the Hawk power play, not able to generate anything. Here's a steal by Russ Courtnall. He's going to waste a little time feeding Lume. Back to Courtnall. Circling deep in his own zone. Russ Courtnall to the far side. Linden couldn't field it cleanly, but got away from two Hawks. Cleared it to center. Here comes Courtnall racing over the Chicago line. Shooting deflected up over the glass into the crowd. And now Russ Courtnall and Steve Smith in a stare down. Courtnall gave him a little shove, but that's allowed to go without a penalty.
Well, Vancouver have been doing a lot of that in the last 2 games in their building. We didn't see them do much of that in Chicago, but Courtnall tries to glove Steve Smith and get a whack in the face, gets away with it right in front of the official. It very easily could have been a penalty called. But Steve Smith just backing away as he's done throughout the playoffs and in this series especially.
.40 seconds left on the Chicago power play, which to this point hasn't been able to get anything going. Face off inside the Chicago line. And the draw is taken by Brett Hedican. He's going to try to waste a few seconds, then fail to get it. Oh, he just did get it out, says Kevin Collins. Gerald Diddick trying to keep it in, but was right in front of Collins, and he said the puck came outside the line.
It looked like it did get across the line. It was the right call. Hedican not too physical with that shot, that clearing attempt, rather casual about it, but got it out anyway. 33 seconds, first minute and a half, no shots. A hot power play, not doing anything. First power play, they did have a couple of chances.
And the face-off now, taken by Patrick Poulin. Dropped it to Diddick in his own end. Now Savard. Dennis Savard wheeling to center, stripped away by Russ Courtnall, trying to move in on Smith, who forced him to turn. And now the puck jammed loose to Chicago Smith. And he starts the Hawks back. Smith to center, will hammer it in. McLean put it to Lume behind the net. Savard or Armani skated by him, and now the puck cleared back the other way, and the Vancouver penalty over. Both teams are at full strength now. So 2 early Chicago power plays thwarted by the Canucks. And Gerald Diddick hoisting one into the Vancouver zone. Taken by Lume. Jyrke Lume looks for Tim Hunter. It's knocked off his stick to center, where Russell chipped it back in there, and then he got the stick up on Baranek. Russell's going to get a penalty as Hunter is deep in his own end for the Canucks. McLean to the bench. 6 attackers on for Vancouver as Lume cleared it to Baranek at center. Baranek left it for Aksuda, who gets the line. Aksuda to the near corner, rolled it back of the net. Russell steals it there. The whistle sounds. Vancouver now will get their first power play. 12.5 left in a scoreless first on the Blackhawk Network.
Cam Russell gets the first Blackhawk penalty for high sticking at 7:30. After the Hawks got 2 power plays, the Canucks will get their first. And Baranek cruising in front of Russell. Russell got the stick up on the right shoulder. And Vancouver gets a chance to get the opening goal with their first power play. They're 0 for 10 in this series.
But they scored 11 power play goals in the series against St. Louis. They're 11 for 53 overall in the postseason. And a face-off here to the left of Ed Belfour. And Linden got the draw, but it eludes a couple of teammates to center. And Jyrke Lume gave it to Trevor Linden. Fanned on a dump in. And it results in an offside call. And here's where we will be seeing Jeff Brown, partner. He's certainly going to be utilized on every Vancouver power play, I'm sure, today.
Well, he's a great player, and he's got an excellent shot from the point. I don't know how much he can really put into the shot. I think it's his left leg. It's a right-hand shot, so that's the leg he leans into when he shoots.
The draw taken by Steve Smith, who clears it. And Brown is back. Jeff Brown cleared it to Lume, who returned it to Brown. He's going to send it in. Chelios chasing for it. Had it knocked off his stick to Bure behind the net. Bure lost the handle. Chelios gets to it and couldn't get it by Lume, who did well to keep it in. Now Linden on the far side. Knocked down by Chelios. Came across to Brown. He hacked it toward the slot. It went into the corner. Steve Smith there gets help to Sutter, who clears. And now a minute remaining on the Vancouver power play. As Cliff Ronning weaves his way to the Hawk line, sends it weakly toward the net. Belfour gave it to Chelios. He fought off a hit, and on the backhand he tried to clear it. Gets help from Craven, who bangs it down the rest of the way. Now Dave Babbage will send it into the Blackhawk end. Weinrich hammered it up the near side. Jeff Brown kept it in. Up the board to Ronning. Gave it back to Brown, and a penalty as Weinrich was knocked down off the play. Momesso is furious. But Rob Schick just standing there, and Sergio Momesso will angrily head toward the penalty box.
Looks like somebody else is going to get an additional penalty. As Courtnall came across to say something.
And now Hedekin, I think, was, he just came off the bench on a change, but Rob Schick came over and pointed at somebody on the Vancouver bench.
Penalty at 9:03 for interference. With 27 seconds left on the Russell penalty, the Vancouver Canucks will now be 0 for 11 with the man advantage. I don't know if Weinrich took a dive or if Momesso really got a piece of him, but Weinrich went down in a hurry, and so did Schick's arm. So in 27 seconds, the Blackhawks will get their third power play of the early going.
And here's the draw now taken by Brett Hedekin. He circles deep in his own end. Gave it to Babbage up the middle to Pekka. Now Baranek steps over the Hawk line. Baranek runs it through his legs, trying to get away from Weinrich, but nothing doing. Weinrich played the body beautifully. And at the line, it's held in by Babbage, whose shot is blocked and winds up at center ice. And now the Hawk penalty is over, and Chicago's on the power play. As the puck caroms in the Canuck zone into the far corner. Didick couldn't find the handle. And now it's chopped up over the glass and into the crowd.
Well, Hedekin's clearing attempt hit his defense mate Babbage. And he was fortunate the Blackhawks didn't have all 5 players in the offensive zone. And it was golfed at from behind the net into the seats. And now it's a minute and 21 left on this third Blackhawk power play. Rick Weinrich is going to get a lot of ice time with the absence of Gary Suter. Baranek slips it through his legs, tries to pass it to himself, and Weinrich just ties him up perfectly, and then Baranek rides him into the corner. But excellent defensive play by Weinrich, who's had tremendous play here in the playoffs.
Face off to the right of McLean on this Chicago power play. Now Roenick, Savard, and Murphy out there as the draw is captured by Steve Smith. Near board to Savard. Walks back to the line with it. Now fakes the shot. Hangs on. Savard top of the ring. Side of the net for Roenick. Gave it back to Savard. Murphy paying the price in front of the net. Here's Savard. A shot. Rebound. And Roenick trickled it just wide. Into the corner now Murphy. Got it to Savard along the boards. Savard tees it up, then put it to Smith. A long shot. Hit his own teammate. And it comes loose to the Canucks' Lume. He moved 2-on-2 to the Hawk line. Lume left it for Bure. A long shot hit Smith. Karam's a Roenick. 2-on-2 the other way. Roenick into the Vancouver zone for Murphy. Shooting. That hit somebody on the way. Rebound to the corner. Roenick got to it there. Out to the line, Chelios. Near side to Weinrich. Gave it back to Chelios. Now the near side is Savard at the top of the ring. Centered one. And a whistle has stopped the play as Merzen and Roenick were dueling in front of the net. And they may both be sent off here.
Well, unfortunate situation because Savard had Murphy wide open at the bottom of the far circle and an empty net chance. With 26 seconds left, Merzen sent off with Roenick as they had quite a battle in front. Merzen started by slashing him, and then Roenick returned the favor. They continued behind the net. Then they went to the front of the net. Then Merzen punched them. So respite for Roenick and Merzen at 10:37, offsetting minor penalties. And there still should be some time left on the Blackhawk power play. I believe there were 21 seconds left.
And now that situation needs to be corrected on the scoreboard. So 26 seconds remaining on the Hawk power play here with a face-off at the Vancouver line. Draws control by Weinrich. Now Nichols circling into his own end. Moved it to the near side, and Amani got poke checked by Babbage, but carried on to Nichols. Steps into the deep slot. Now put it to Chelios, cutting toward the net. Here's the shot, deflected just wide of the far post. Rebound, Russ Courtnall couldn't get it by Weinrich, who centered. And Poulin unable to redirect it. Now Chelios a drive. McLean made the save. Rebound to the near corner. And Bure able to hack it loose to center ice. And now the Vancouver penalty's over. And both teams are at full strength. We're going to have another penalty coming up against the Canucks.
Meso just slashed Chelios in the back of the leg. Well, these Canucks are reminding me of the Blackhawks against that series against Minnesota years ago.
Here's a bouncing puck to Smith in the Canuck zone. Steve Smith with 6 attackers out there, put it in behind Poulin, had it knocked away to Cullimore, and the whistle sounds. And again, the Blackhawks will head to the power play, resulting from a terrible Vancouver penalty.
Whacked Chelios in the back of the leg. Chelios went down. And it's the second trip, as I said, for Meso, and very easily could be his 4th trip. And this will be the 4th Blackhawk power play. And we still have 8.5 minutes to go in the first period. They better score on one of these soon. Vancouver's had 1 power play, and the Hawks killed it off.
Now it's Amani, Poulin, and Nichols to start this power play as Chelios comes to center ice, shoots it in there. Puck jammed loose toward the slot, then into the corner. Amani near point to Smith, across for Chelios. Gave it back to Smith. Touch pass for Amani near board. Only Amani standing with it. Now gave it back to Smith. Again to Amani, side of the net. Nichols centered. He missed Poulin. It bounced to Smith. He holds it in for Nichols, top of the near circle. Nichols takes a look, now fakes, now tried to shoot, that didn't get through. Rebound to the near side. Lume couldn't get it by Nichols, but Jelena did, and it's back into the Hawk zone. And a minute remaining on the Chicago power play. Russ Courtnall stealing one at center ice. Rolled it ahead. Murphy got to it for the Hawks. Sends it to Craven over the line. He cuts to the slot, forced to peel off with it. Then Lume takes it away. Couldn't get it away from Craven. He put it to Smith in the deep slot, who had Bure all over him, and Smith had to clear it back to center ice safely. Now Murphy unable to advance it. Boy, the Canucks very aggressive, and they steal and clear again. Chelios. Banned on a passing attempt. It bounces around at the Vancouver line. Captured by Cullimore. Murphy hounding him, but Cullimore held the puck and shot it back the other way. Here comes Savard out to center ice. He put it to Murphy over the line. Offside was Didick, and a whistle.
Well, this Hawk power play has really been struggling throughout the playoffs. The #1 ranked power play has really suffered. Now they are 2 for 17 in this series. And 4 for 44 throughout the playoffs.
As soon as they drop the puck, Meso's penalty will expire. With 6.5 minutes remaining in the opening period. Still no score in the game, but Hawks have been given every opportunity to grab the lead and have not been able to take advantage of it. Here's the draw, and both teams are back at full strength. As Graham shoots it into the Canuck zone. On the near side, Jeff Brown able to clear it past everybody. Back into Chicago territory. Diddick gets help from Graham. He ran into Jeff Courtnall, though. Then Linden centered one. Here's Brown, a shot deflecting over the glass and into the crowd. Well, the Hawk power play, Dale, as we mentioned, has really struggled, but what's really kept this team going in the postseason has been their play at even strength. The Hawks coming into this game in even strength situations have outscored their opponents 24-15 through the playoffs. And it's been just the opposite for Vancouver. The Canucks at even strength have scored just 12 goals in the postseason, 25 goals against. They've been outscored by more than 2-1. And the teams have been at even strength. And now a penalty is going to be called against Graham as Jeff Courtnall hit the deck. And now Vancouver will head to the power play. And this is where they've been shining up until this series anyway.
Well, penalty killing has been perfect. They're 0 for 11, Vancouver, in this series. Off the faceoff, the Hawks win. Graham tried to slow Courtnall up. And then Diddick stick rode up and clipped him on the side of the face. So the Hawks will be shorthanded for the second time in this period.
So it's Linden, Bure, and Jeff Courtnall for this Vancouver power play. Lume and Brown, the point men. And the draw taken by Jeff Brown. Far point to Lume. Cuts in, shoots it, hits Steve Smith. Rebounding in behind the net. Linden couldn't find it. Jeff Courtnall did. Knocked it loose to Linden. Out of Bure on the near side. Put it to Brown. Good touch pass to Lume, who chipped it back to the near board. Brown speed broken up by Smith, who made a good read, and he clears it back the other way. Paid a price as Linden gave him a good jolt right in front of the benches. Trevor Linden, and a penalty is going to be called as Murray Craven was going to get to the puck carrier, and Jeff Courtnall interfered with him. And Vancouver negates the rest of this power play.
Well, it's amazing what's happening in this first period and what happened in the first period and throughout the last game. The Blackhawk people thought that Vancouver got away, even though they blamed the official for part of the loss with 8 power plays against. They very easily could have had another 6 or 8 penalties called against them. Courtnall just had flattened Craven as he attempted to get to Linden right in front of the penalty benches. Linden just in front of the benches, and Courtnall knocks Craven down. Not much doubt about it. It was definitely an interference situation. And Vancouver may be feeling with the discrepancy in number of power plays, they might let it go. So Vancouver now credited with a second power play that gets nothing.
And with 4 skaters aside, the puck cleared to center where Nichols circles with it. Got it to Craven. Murray Craven turning in the neutral zone. Well, lost it in traffic, rounding the other way, gets over the line, rounding the shot, deflected up over top of the net. Rebounded, taken by Chelios. And Chris Chelios feeds Bernie Nichols. And the Hawks just circling in this 4-on-4, not moving the puck up the ice. They have it in their own zone still.
I like it. Keep possession. They can't score Vancouver if they don't have it. Clearly the pressure's on Vancouver.
Chelios finds some room, gets to the line, but he's surrounded there. Lume takes it away. The puck cleared back into the Hog zone. Keith Carney just tackled off the puck by Jelena, then a shot and a save by Belfour on Pekka. Rebound into the far corner, taken by Weinrich. He left it for Amandi, clearing it around the board. Roenick steaming up the left side. Motors over the Vancouver line. Roenick turns on the far board, and then it's knocked away from him to Pekka, who tried to pass it through Amandi and got a fortunate break as the puck hit Tony Amandi, but went back to the Canucks and they clear it. Now the Hawk penalty's over, and a half-minute power play here for Chicago. Carney moved it to Poulin up right wing over the line. Poulin Pounded by Bure to the corner. Bure took it away. Couldn't get it by Weinrich. Now it's knocked loose to center. Here come the Canucks. Might have a 2-on-1. Over the line, centering past Lume. And he couldn't find the handle on the feed from Pekka. And now the puck to the doorstep, and Belfour stops it there to Smith. And now the Vancouver penalty's over. And both teams are at full strength. And Poulin nearly got hammered by Jeff Courtnall coming out of the box. But Poulin saw him at the very last second. As Dana Merzen now works his way to the Hawk line. Bounce one to Linden to the backhand. He sent it when Courtnall a shot. That hit a man. Then late in the crease, Belfour diving. Able to cover it up. 3 minutes remaining in the first. Still no score on the Hawk Network.
Slipped it to Linden. Merzen was let go. He was tripped. It fell to the ice. Went crashing into Belfour. The puck came there simultaneously. And then Brent Sutter almost kicked it in. But Belfour with the left pad. And then dove headlong to get the glove on it to freeze it. With 2:54 to go.
And the draw is controlled by the Hawks. Steve Smith, clearing effort, hit a couple of folks and stayed in, but only for a second as Diddick sends it back into the Vancouver zone. On the far side, Sutter trying to get to the slot, rolled it loose. Graham put it to the doorstep, then Savard shoots, and it hit a leg of Brown, and then cleared the center where Courtnall was cherry picking. He would have been offside, and now as he touches it, he is.
Sutter muscled his way to the front of the net. The puck trickled to Graham. Graham's stick was tied up. Then it came to Savard. He turned and fired, hit Brown with 2 players in front of the net. To get through would have been a tough save for McLean, but Courtnall up high was on the Blackhawk side of the red line and trying to catch the Blackhawk defense with 2-line pass. The faceoff goes all the way to the middle of the ice inside the Vancouver line. With 2:24 to go in a scoreless first period. But amazingly, only 4 shots on goal for Vancouver and 5 for the Blackhawks. Vancouver's had 2 power plays. The Blackhawks have had 5, though a couple of those power plays have been cut short by penalties. But still, only 9 shots total between these two, and that's been the story of this series.
Diddick a long flip shot, gloved easily by McLean, and he'll hold it long enough for a whistle.
And this is the style that suits the Blackhawks. Low scoring, no shots, close checking. So far, it's gone the Hawks' way with only 3 goals against in 3 games, and they have a 3 games to nothing lead.
Here's the draw to Chelios in the deep slot, scooped it over to the far side. Craven's wide open now, center with Nichols, and it hit the goal post. Bernie Nichols had McLean down and out, hit the post, and it came out. And the puck cleared back into the Hawk zone. On the far side, they battle for it. It squirts loose to Nichols. He flipped it to center. Murphy chasing for it there, but Lume beat him to it and gave it to Bure. Pavel Bure cleared it to the far side. Jeff Courtnall trying to feed Lume. The return pass deflecting back of the net. Chelios to the right side for Murphy. And Joe Murphy got to center before he was stopped. With a minute and a half remaining in the opening period. It's taken by Weinrich in his own end. He got it to Roenick. Roenick in on Cullimore, then dropped it to Poulin far side. The return pass broken up and cleared back into the Hawk zone. Keith Carney chasing it down. Carney's feed deflecting. And Carney ran into Pekka, knocked him off the puck. Russell has it to Poulin on the near side. He flipped it to the point, and it's held in by Babbitt. Back behind the Hawk net. Carney to Poulin on the left wing boards. Rink wide for Amani. He cleared it into the Vancouver zone. As we head into the final minute, we're going to have another Vancouver penalty. Coming up here as Amani was dueling with one Canuck, and then was it Ojic that came across? Yes.
There was. It's amazing what this team has shown here in this series, taking bad penalty after bad penalty. Lamonte, clean hit by Cullimore, good solid defensive play. Amani had lost his stick, and then Ojic came across and leveled him. This penalty coming in 1909. Bernie Nichols continues to struggle offensively as far as the goals. A bouncing puck. He got all of it. It hit the inside part of the near post as he beat McLean and came out the other side. Sixth power play of the period for the Blackhawks. Sooner or later, this Hawk power play is going to get one. These penalty killers have to get exhausted after a while. It's 14 times. And we have not played 4 periods of hockey yet in this building.
40 seconds left in the first period as Chelios is deep in his own zone under pressure from Linden. Gave him a rough ride to the corner. And now Chelios able to maintain control. Got it ahead to Weinrich, who motors to the Vancouver line. Weinrich left it for Amani near side, rink wide to Roenick. He couldn't hold the pass or would have had a good chance. Now at the near point, Weinrich got it to the far side of Amani. Tony Amani back to Chelios at the line. Deep slot, Weinrich near dot to Nichols. 10 seconds. Nichols put it across. Chelios couldn't hold the feed cleanly. Lume steals and tried to clear. It was knocked down with a high stick and a whistle with 1 second to go.
So the faceoff will go all the way back to the Blackhawks zone because of that automatic rule. Team in a power play knocks it down with a stick above the shoulder. It goes all the way back into that zone, or the team's offensive zone. 7 shots for the Blackhawks, Pat, and this is their 6th power play. Vancouver's had 4, but they've got a reason for that. They've been shorthanded most of the period. These power play failures will come back to haunt the Blackhawks before this game's over, unless they can score at even strength.
So the draw to the left to Belfort. Nichols and Courtnall. Nichols tied him up. That'll do it for the first period. So a very shaky power play period for the Blackhawks, and because of that, an opportunity to grab the lead goes by the boards. They will start the second period with a man advantage and have 69 seconds with which to work. At the end of 1, there's no score. And as Dale mentioned, the shots on goal in the first 7 for Chicago and 4 for Vancouver. 20 minutes complete in the Pacific Coliseum in Game 4. The Blackhawks nothing, the Canucks nothing on the Blackhawk Radio Network.
Because Vancouver's going to get a few power plays. We said that last game too, but Vancouver continued to take bad penalties, and they'll have to smarten up if they're going to win this game and prolong the series.
Here's Weinrich now, starting from behind his own net. Gave it to Chelios. Back to Weinrich, who will shoot it in. Savard in the near corner after it. Jammed it behind the net. It didn't get to Nichols. Merzen tried to clear. Chelios held it in. Back to Nichols near corner. Put it around the board. Savard walks to the slot. Centered it. Murphy tried to kick it to the stick. Couldn't. It's cleared to the line. Held in by Weinrich nicely. Got it to Savard. Far dot. Back to Weinrich. Near point for Chelios. He's well covered. Tried to flip it toward the slot. Merzen stole it easily. And Dana Merzen clears.
Canucks doing a good job there, putting pressure on both pointmen. No one was in the middle of the ice, so there was a big separation between the Blackhawk player defensive forwards. It made it easy for them to kill off most of this time.
One more rush on this Hawk power play. As Chelios tries the breakaway feed to Murphy, it didn't connect. Cleared to the far side. Amati had it knocked off his stick, and it rolled to center. Now the Vancouver penalty's over. Both teams at full strength. Linden over the line to Ojic. He shot one up off the glass. Rebound Bure to Linden, far corner. The return pass picked off by Roenick. He moved it to Murphy, and Joe Murphy puts Amani to center. Carries it over the Canuck line, shoots. That hit the leg of Jeff Brown, deflecting in behind. Here's Amani back to the slot, centered it. Poulin shooting right on McLean. Rebound Roenick. Good coverage by Hedekin. He prevented Roenick from getting his stick loose for a rebound chance. Fine play by Brett Hedekin. Now an offside whistle sounds.
Well, Patrick Poulin surprised everyone with the quickness of that shot. Looked like it was a casual attempt from 40 feet, but boy, he really ripped it, and McLean was forced to make a good pad save to his left. The Hawks again squandered quality time on the power play. 0 for 6 in the first 21.5 minutes. Amante goes around Brown, peels back to Poulin, coming on a change and a quick wrist shot. And McLean had to be alert and made a good save. And then Hedekin with a fine defensive play to tie up both the stick and Jeremy Roenick, not allowing Roenick a chance at the rebound.
Face off in the neutral zone now as the draw is taken by Jason Cullimore deep in his own end. Up the left side, and Aksuda lost it at center. Graham throws it back in there, taken by Babic. 15-year veteran David Babic bounced one to center, and an offside call as Didick was pressured by Courtnall, but Russ Courtnall was in there ahead of the play.
Curious position for Didick. The puck bouncing. He went down to glove it, and Courtnall hammered him, but it was a good call by the official. Aksuda almost had his pocket picked and resulted in a Blackhawk chance, but the Hawks were unable to take advantage of the open ice on the near side.
There's the draw now, controlled by the Hawks. Gerald Didick in his own end. Chips it to the Vancouver line, taken there by Babic. Feeding Baranek into the Hawk zone. Joseph Baranek with a great shot right on. Belfour made the save. And just as Poulin did at the one end, a good snapshot from Baranek at the other.
Baranek, the former Flyer, has got a good wrist shot. Over in the trade midway through the season for Sean Antoski. Philadelphia Flyers knocking off the Rangers 4 straight. Baranek, good goal scorer in his brief career in the NHL. Belfour at the top of the crease, moving from right to left. Got his body in front of it. Juggled momentarily and then put the glove on it. Forced the face-off to the left. Only the 5th shot on goal for Vancouver. They've been short-handed for most of the first period and the early stages of this second.
Here's the draw now to the Canucks, and Bure shot deflecting to Hedekin. Putting it around the boards. Momesso far corner. Looks for Bure. Touch pass to the line. Held in nicely by Brown. To Bure far corner. Beating Ronning at the dot. Back to Bure. Trying to cut in there. The slap shot and a save by Belfour. As Bure with a determined effort to get to the front of the net. Now the Hawks try to clear, and then Roenick did. Roenick carries it over the Vancouver line. Has it on the far side. Now tried to shoot one, and a save by McLean. And he covers it up.
You know, one thing you need to do when Pavel Bure makes a pass, you have to eliminate him. The Hawks did not do a good job that time. First, Poulin went for a skate after he made the pass. Poulin's got to eliminate him. He didn't. And then Roenick thought about it and then decided to do it and was a step behind. And that enabled Bure to come in front and try to jam it. As soon as he dishes that puck, you've got to stay with him. You can't go for a skate and follow the pass, or you're in trouble because you'll get it right back.
Chance, Cummins, and Daze step over the boards for Chicago, and that brings Ronning, Momesso, and Bure right back out there. Face off to the right of McLean. Here's the draw to Keith Carney to the far corner. He tried to center, but Brown picked it off, then couldn't get it out. Now Brown, a long pass missing Bure. It slides the length and icing. Coming up against Vancouver. It's early in the second period. We still have no score in the game on the Blackhawk Network.
Goal in each of the periods in this series, but only 3 for the first 3 games. The Hawks have scored 5, 7 goals, 2 of them in overtime, 3 in the third, and 2 in the first. No goals in the second.
And after this TV timeout was taken, Shantz, Daze, and Cummins remain, and Ricky Lee sending out Pekka, Jelena, and Ojic. Here's the draw. Back of the net goes Shantz. He was tied up there. And Ojic took a big hit from Cummins as he cleared it to center. Jelena to the Hawk line, and Chelios stripped it away there. Now Daze able to feed Shantz nicely. Cleared it to Cummins over the line. Hedekin took him off the puck. And McLean Settling it down to Brown, who bounced it back to the Hawk line. Chelios threw it back the other way. Now Hedican rolled it ahead. Jelena to the Hawk line. Chelios stopped him beautifully. Then it's knocked loose. Here's Jelena centering. It deflects. A chance for Brown. He shoots. He scores! Jeff Brown following the play. Got a fortunate bounce right between the rings, and he buried it. It's 1-0 Vancouver.
Jeff Brown is dangerous. He's a late guy, and the Hawks forgot about him. Bouncing puck. Chelios blocked a Jelena shot. Kicked at, bounced at, couldn't get to it. Pekka got to it. Jelena hit a skate. It went to Brown, who was all alone, and he ripped it by Belfour on the blocker side. He's got a great shot, a little snapshot, half backswing. It was in and out, and Vancouver takes the lead at 4:01. I'll tell you, Pat, this line, Ojic, Jelena, and Pekka, was the best line Vancouver had in Game 3, and they come through with a good effort here to get the opening goal for Brown.
Jeff Brown with a big smile on his face. His first appearance of this series. He's still not 100%, but his shot is pretty close to that. And he just blew it by Belfour with a fine opportunity that he had, and he finished. Jelena with the assist at 4:01. Pekka also given an assist. And it's 1-0 Canucks. Here's the draw held in by Steve Smith. Centered it. Craven touch pass. Here's a center pass. Craven, he scores! And again, just as the other night, the Hawks get a goal right back. Nichols and Craven, a magnificent give and go. As Nichols got a pass and returned it to Craven. It's 1-1, just 12 seconds after the Canucks had taken the lead.
Well, they did it in 15 seconds in the last game. Came back on a power play after a shorthanded goal, but Nichols over to Craven. Smith keeps it in, puts it to the middle of the ice, deflected by Craven, right to Nichols. Then Craven let go by Bourre, and Craven on the return feed from Nichols. And it's a 1-1 game.
So Murray Craven continues to shine in the postseason. A goal in the last minute to force overtime in Game 3. Now a goal just 12 seconds after Vancouver had taken a lead in Game 4. It's his 5th postseason goal. Craven from Nichols and Smith at 4:13. And we are tied at 1. Here come the Canucks now as Linden gets it to the Chicago line. Surrounded there. It's stripped away. And back to center ice. Murphy rolled it loose. Now steals. Murphy cutting in. Centered it. A chance for Nichols. Put it to Craven. Shoot. McLean. Big save. Rebound. Bouncing around. Knocked down with a high stick, I believe. Yes. Says Rob Schick. A stick was too high when it touched the puck, and the Canucks were next to touch it. And the Hawks dodge a bullet because Vancouver was gone 2-on-1.
And McLean with a great save on Murray Craven. A stick lay flat on the ice to the right of McLean. Murphy with a nice move to elude the hit from Merzen. Kept the puck. Lume lost the stick. He went to the right. That prevented Nichols from shooting. Then he passed it to the late-coming Craven in the deep slot. And McLean stymied him, kicked it away. The Canucks were off and running on an odd-man break, but they ruled it was knocked down with the stick above the shoulder.
Face off to the left of McLean as Savard, Graham, and Brent Sutter out there. Sutter's been playing a fair bit of time on wing here in this Game 4. Here's the draw, controlled by the Canucks. Cullimore gave it to Babbage, who ran into Graham, but Russ Courtnall helped out and then couldn't get it out. Bouncing puck to the near side. Graham is on it. To the corner and Savard, side of the net. There's a good hit delivered by Babbage, knocking down Sutter. And Dave Babbage gathers it in. Out it to center where Weinrich puts it back into the Vancouver zone. And now Baranik works his way to center. Dumps it into Blackhawk territory. Comes to the near side, and Sutter Bounced it for Savard. He couldn't get it out. A chance for Russ Courtnall. Shooting right on Belfort. Rebound Baronic. Brent Sutter saved the goal. He tied up Baronic, who had an open net rebound chance. And now Chelios unable to get it out. Sutter did, though, pushing it to center. Courtnall right back over the line. Turns to the far point. Banks one nicely to Oksuda. And then Chelios stripped it away from him. Now Graham. To clear it, couldn't get it out. A long shot, loved by Belfour, and he will take a whistle.
Well, the Hawks get a chance right after they score, and then after that, the Canucks come right back. The Hawks with a hot potato in their own zone. That puck bouncing around, they failed to clear it on a couple of occasions. The high hard went off the right shoulder. Baronic's got the rebound chance, and Brent Sutter hooked him at the last second, preventing him from tucking it in on the backhand. He had an empty net. So some action here end to end for the first time in a long time.
Face off to the left of Ed Belfour. And Ronnie got the draw to Bure, but his shot went wide, and Steve Smith banks it ahead to Amani. Tony Amani put it to Roenick. Gets it over the Canuck line. Roenick left it for Amani. He put it to the far side. Here's Diddick cutting in, shoots, and a save by McLean. Rebound right to the goal. Mouth now a shot. McLean the save on Diddick. Rebound cleared to center. Bure racing in on Smith. Cuts to the net. Bure the shot. Belfour the save, and he covered it up while being pushed back toward his own goal. Belfour able to keep the puck outside the line.
That's what you have to be careful of. The defenseman catching up with the play gets an offensive chance, but if you don't score, the other team's ability to counter with Bure can really hurt you, so the defense has to be careful when they opt to take the chance offensively. Diddick stopped. Roenick carries it up ice. Drops it to Amante. Amante slips it over to Diddick. Diddick shot deflected off Roenick out front to Diddick, and Diddick couldn't get it over McLean, but Bure was open. And Smith had to turn, go forward, come back. Bure goes to the backhand, and Belfour's there to jam him up with the paddle of the stick and the blocker.
13.5 minutes remaining in the second period. We're tied at 1, and the second session in this game has been quite a wide open one to this point. There's the draw now controlled by Chicago's Weinrich, who bounced it back into the Vancouver zone. Lume's on it. Okay, Lume's speed deflecting at center. Now Ojic unable to advance it. And back into the Canuck zone it goes. Back of the goal, Amani knocked it loose. Here's Roenick behind the net. Roenick to the far side with it. Leaves it there for Poulin. The return pass to Roenick, wide open, fires. McLean the save, it trickled past him and outside the far post by half a foot. And then it's cleared to center.
Well, Monte did all he could to try and get to that puck as it squirted through, but McLean was able to prevent him from getting to the puck.
Jelena bangs it into the Blackhawk end, and Chelios under pressure from Ojic. Nichols came to help out. Cleared it to the far side. And Poulin got help from Nichols to clear it to center. There's Cullimore sending it back in there. Weinrich got a rough ride from Packer. Jelena, back of the net it goes. And Nichols wants a whistle but can't get it. Now Weinrich wants to take a whistle any way he can. He just fires at the length. Icing will be called here against Chicago. 8 minutes gone by in the middle period. Hawks 1, Canucks
through McLean and just trickled outside the near post, or the far post, I should say. Amante stayed out of the crease and saw the puck slip by, dove, and just missed it.
Now, a little pushing and shoving after a face-off went right to Belfour, which he smothered. A little conversation going on behind the net, but that's all for now, and they'll get ready to the left of the Hawk net. Nichols, Murphy, and Craven on against the Canucks. Linden, Jeff Courtnall, and Bure. And the draw Taken by Murphy on the right side. His pass missing Nichols at center, and now bouncing back into the Hawk zone. Jeff Cordnall cuts in there. Poke check beautifully by Diddick. Now they wrestle forward to the side. Here's the shot deflecting right into the doorstep, and then the Hawks, Nichols, able to clear it back the other way. Jeff Cordnall gave it to Jason Cullimore. He was stopped at center. 2-on-1 the other way. Nichols has Craven with him. Nichols cuts in, looks, centered it. He shoots. It hit the goal post. Rebound. And Craven couldn't find the bouncing puck, and the Canucks then clear it to center ice.
Well, Bernie Nichols has hit 2 posts.
Here come the Canucks. Russ Cordnall tried to center right through the slot. It went, and a penalty is going to be called as Daze was riding Jeff Cordnall, and the whistle sounds.
Daze is going to get a holding penalty as he hustled back. Vancouver gets its first power play this period, third of the game. But Bernie Nichols in a 2-on-1 situation hit the goalpost. But after that, the puck all over the place, bouncing around. Hawks just hacking at it furiously. Were unable to get possession. Finally, they did do that. The 2-on-1 break. Canucks get caught. Craven goes wide. The defenseman stays in the middle. Babbage forces Nichols to a sharp angle. He beats McLean and hits the post, the inside part of the near post. He hit a post in the first period on a power play and hits the post again here in the second. Meanwhile, Daze is sent off, and Vancouver with a chance to take the lead, looking for their first power play goal of this series. They're 0 for 12. .902 the time of the infraction. 2 goals in 12 seconds in this period. One by Brown and the other by Craven to tie it up.
Face off in the Hog zone to the near side. Roning's there. Roning gave it to Russ Cordnall. Put it to the top of the ring. Jeff Brown shoots it. They score. That was a double deflection. It hit a Hawk and then bounced in off a Vancouver player, I believe, and it's 2-1 Canucks.
Well, the Hawks know that Jeff Brown's got a great shot. He hasn't played in the series. They've totally forgotten about him twice, and he's paying dividends with 2 goals in this period. That one hit Aksuto, I think, as he let it go. But you can't give Jeff Brown all that time and room at the right point. This goal coming at 9:11. All 4 Hawk players converge on the right side, the near side, to the puck, and Brown's wide open.
Well, they're going to award Brown the goal. As he walked right to the dot, cranked it up, it hit Graham, then hit somebody in front. Aksuto, as you said, was there, but for now it's Brown being announced as the goal scorer. Russ Cordnall and Cliff Ronning get the assists. So the Canucks score their first power play goal of the series.
Took them 9 seconds from the time of the penalty.
So the face-off now controlled by the Canucks. They clear it to center. Chelios flipped it back in. Vancouver, I imagine, really be concentrating now. Twice they've scored to take leads, and twice they've given up goals in the next shift to the Hawks. Once today, and once in Game 3. Here comes Ojic to the line. Offside is the call.
I imagine there'll be a change in that goal. It clearly went in off the leg of Aksuto, who was in front of the net. Jeff Brown moving into the top of the, or inside the top of the near circle. He was at the dot when he let it go twice. In this period, he's been able to get open ice coming late from the right point.
And it's dumped into the Blackhawk zone. Chelios back around the board for Poulin. He chipped it ahead nicely to Roenick, moving 2-on-2 to center. Puts Amani over the line. The return pass to Roenick, who overskates it. And it's corralled by Vancouver's Pekka to Merzen into the Hawk zone. Dana Merzen, a weak wrist shot handled by Belfour. He was going to play it, now thinks again and covers it up.
Roenick's line has been out there against this Pekka line, and Monte with a drop pass to Roenick, and Roenick took his eye off it and squandered a quality chance. And he was able to hustle back and make it a 3-on-3 situation, Roenick. 9:50 to go here in the wide open second period. End-to-end action for the first time in a long time in this series.
Face off to the left of Ed Belfour. And Craven and Courtnall will get ready for the draw. Now here it is, over to the far point. Jeff Brown scoops it around the boards. Steve Smith had it poke check to Bure. Centered one. Linden had a bouncing puck, couldn't find it. Murphy then sweeps it back into the Canuck zone. Brown cleared it to center. Here comes Linden up the right side, fending off a check from Smith. Steve Smith able to hog time to the corner. Then Bure came away with it centering. He missed Hedican with a pass. Hawks look to counter. Here comes Craven. Craven over the Vancouver line on the near side. Stops and shoots, and a save by McLean. Rebound to the far corner. Now in behind, Gerald Diddick's in there deep. He wrestles with Brown, and it comes loose to Vancouver's Bure. Pavel Bure racing back into the Hawk zone. His shot hit Carney, and Murphy gathers it in for Chicago. Joe Murphy over the Vancouver line, shoots, and it hit a leg, deflecting to the corner. Back of the goal now, Murphy has it with a wraparound. He rolled it right through the goal crease. Carney keeps it in. Far corner now in behind the net to Murphy. Babbage put the clamps on him, then Graham came away with it. Dirk Graham. That is pass picked off by Babbage. And Dave Babbage got it to the Hawk line. Carney's there, clearing to Graham into the Vancouver zone. Fakes and shoots it, hit a leg. And corralled by Oksuda. Roman Oksuda got to center. Russ Courtnall into the Chicago zone. Chipped it to Baranek. He stops against Carney and shoots. Oh, Belfour just got a piece of that. Rebound control by Amani. Tony Amani got it to Brent Sutter. Chipping it in there. Bouncing puck to McLean. He's going to play it to Lume. Now a shot to the Hawk line. Chelios missing Savard with a feed. And Eric Weinrich carries it to the Vancouver line. He was hooked from behind by Russ Courtnall. Now back of the goal it goes. McLean had it, then lost it. But Oksuda's there to pick it up for the home team. And Roman Oksuda carries it back into the Hawk zone, where he put it into the far corner, taken there by Chelios. 2-1 Canucks. 7.5 left in the second. Savard over the line. Dropped a pass that Poulin is unable to pick up. And here comes Ronning the other way. Gets into the Hawk zone to Oksuda. Tried the return pass, and Weinrich there to steal it nicely. And clear it back into Canuck territory, but this will be an icing call against Chicago. 7.
Joe Murphy with a quality shot. A wraparound. Almost hit the skate of Babbage. Kirk McLean got himself in trouble for his ability to try and move the puck. He doesn't like to freeze it that often, and cost himself a quality chance against. He was very fortunate that Murphy's wraparound attempt didn't hit the leg of Babbage and deflect in to tie it up. Canucks with 2 goals here in the second period have a 2-1 lead over the Blackhawks with 7 minutes to go.
They wrestle in the Chicago zone, and Ronning tied up by Shantz. Then Bure jammed it loose, but Chelios all over him, steals it. Chris Chelios back to the Vancouver line. Bure able to hook it away from him and clear it back to the Chicago zone. And we're going to have a penalty coming up.
Bure with the retaliatory penalty. Cummins took him hard into the boards cleanly, and he came off the boards and cross-checked him.
Now here's a good reception by Daze, cutting and shoots, hit the goal post. Came to the near side, Roenick centered, picked off by the Canucks. The whistle sounds 3 times in this game. The Blackhawks have beaten Kirk McLean, only to have it hit the post and come out.
So the Blackhawks need to get this power play rolling. They're 0 for 6. Bure's second penalty of the game. I was thinking, meanwhile, Daze on the delayed penalty call, taking advantage of his reach as he was falling. Ripped the wrist shot, beat McLean cleanly low to the glove side, but off the outside part of the post. The second time that post has been hit in this period. Once by Nichols, and that time by Daze. Well, 2-1 Vancouver lead, and the Blackhawks looking to tie it up with the special team. Most entertaining period of the series, I believe. The second period has been end to end. We still have 6 minutes and 16 seconds to go.
You know, the other night, though, it wasn't a full frame, of course, but that overtime, that was as good an overtime as I think I've ever seen. 3 brilliant chances for each team to win it before the Hawks finally did, just 6 minutes in. Here's the draw now. Steve Smith, a long shot, didn't get through. Rebound Lume. He got knocked down, wants a whistle, and succeeds. As he laid on top of the puck as Vancouver's screaming for a Hawk penalty here.
And they should have had one. Roenick took the feet from under Lume right in front of Schick. And Merzen continues to yap, so does Lume. And the more they talk, the more frustrated it becomes, and they could cost themselves another penalty for unsportsmanlike or get a misconduct. I think the fact that Merzen got a piece of Roenick before Roenick got Lume was the reason for the no call.
Face off to the right of McLean. Canucks now have Merzen going in there against Roenick for the draw. And Roenick won it easily to the line, and Smith near point to Chelios. Gave it back to Smith. Put it to the far side. Nichols flipped it side of the net. Roenick. And we're going to have a penalty. I think Rob Schick tried to put his arm up, but was in traffic, and Murphy will be sent off as he and Merzen had quite a battle in front of the net. And that'll take care of the rest of the Hawk power play.
A dangerous pass by Steve Smith to Nichols at the far side. Merzen and Murphy doing battle in front. Murphy initiated the contact. Schick was run over in the corner and still made the call, which was the right call. So that offsets the Blackhawk power play. It's the third time they've had a power play where the penalty has nullified some power play time. They will be 0 for 7 now, the Blackhawks. In Vancouver, in a minute and a half, we'll get a brief power play.
And the draw now. Controlled by Vancouver's Ronning. Cliff Ronning to the Hawk line. Peels off to the near side. Then tried to center. Hit a leg just behind Babbage. Came to Hedican. Brad Hedican moves behind the net to Russ Courtnall on the near board. Threw it to the far point. It hopped away from Babbage. Out to center. Now they battle away in front of the Hawk bench, and Hedican comes away with it. Leading Ronning into the Chicago zone. Ronning threw it into the far corner. Hedican got to it there. Turns behind the net. Craven got a piece of him. Now picked up by the Canucks. Russ Courtnall trying to put it over top of the net. He did, but Nichols was in front to steal it and couldn't clear it. Hedican far corner. Gave it to Ronning. Cliff Ronning dancing behind the net, and Weinrich knocked it off his stick, and finally Chelios rolled it back the other way. Now Gerald Diddick in his own end. Diddick skates ahead to center, got it to Poulin over the Vancouver line with a wrist shot and a save by McLean. He was on his heels but made the stop and held on to it. 4.5 left in the second period.
Knox has to pay attention here, Pat. 5 seconds left on the Bore penalty. He'll be coming out of the box, and Vancouver will have a 30-second power play. But quick face-off win by Vancouver, and they've got people out there that can pass the puck well, especially Brown and Lume. So if they don't pay attention to Bore coming out of the box, it'll be a quick breakout.
Here's the draw to the Canucks. Lume circles behind the net. Now Bore is out of there, and a short power play for Vancouver here as Linden gave it to Bore at center. Pavel Bure to Jeff Corton all over the line, put it to Linden, leaving for Lume. Lume to the far circle with it. Turns in behind the net against Smith. Now they wrestle along the end boards. Jeff Cortnall got to it, lost the handle, and Brent Sutter shot it to center. Now the Chicago penalty is over, and both teams are back at full strength. Lume over the Hawk line for Jeff Cortnall. Pass ran between his legs over to the far side where Linden tried to center. It deflected in behind the net, and Bore is down and hurting right in front of Rob Schick, and there's going to be a penalty called. He never put his arm in the air, I don't think.
He wasn't going to call a penalty. Chelios had possession of the puck, and then he decided to call it with Bure down. He was not going to whistle a penalty there until Bure was down. Be interesting to see the call. Chelios is in front of the net to the left. Linden's got the puck. Graham goes to him. Bore went down on his own. No one touched him. Chelios never touched him. Absolutely had nothing to do with the injury. Well, Chelios just happened to be in the neighborhood, but Bore is still down. Graham had gone to Linden.
Still nobody has been sent off, but there is going to be a Hawk penalty. Rob Schick, you said his arm never went up in the air to indicate a penalty until Bore went down.
Take a look at it again as Graham went to Linden.
Bore's at the side of the net and he reacted as if he'd been slashed. He looked like he was grabbing his arm, but if it happened several seconds before that.
We did not see what happened. He was between both Chelios and Smith. It must have happened along the boards in the corner. But there's not going to be a call, and rightfully so. The officials, the linesman came in and said nothing happened.
Well, Bore is heading back toward the Vancouver dressing room. And now Rob Schick's over to the bench to talk with an upset head coach Rick Lee behind the Vancouver players. And it appears that there will not be a penalty here at all. And why should there be? Bore just went down on his own without anybody even within a couple of feet of him.
Absolutely no one near him. No one touched him. No one laid a stick or a glove on him, and he just went down. Strangest thing I've ever seen.
That's a time release injury there. I can't imagine whatever did happened happened well before. I wonder if he twisted his skate on a rut while he was turning, Dale. That may be it. He seemed to be limping as he went to the Vancouver dressing room. But if something happened, it happened on his own, and these teams remain at full strength as the draw is cleared into the Vancouver zone. Merzen has it there. Bounced it up the board to Ojic. Now Jelen at a center. Feeding Pekka over the line. Fires, and Smith blocked the shot as Pekka broke his stick while trying to shoot. Amani on the near board. Scooped it to center. And Smith carries it over the Vancouver line on the near side. Smith to the corner. Fought off a slash from Merzen. Put it in behind now. Poulin knocked down as he tried to stuff it home. And it's cleared back to the Chicago zone. 2.5 left in the second period. Here comes Aksuda shooting. He scores! Roman Aksuda with a wrist shot right through the defenseman's leg. Up over the glove of Belfour, off the far post and in. Now it's 3-1 Vancouver.
The Hawks real casual. The tired Jeremy Roenick had the puck. And he put a soft bank pass off the boards. It was picked up. And Aksuda walked in, used the defenseman as a screen, and fired a wrist shot over the shoulder of Belfour. It hit the post and went in. The Hawks have hit the post 3 times, and none of them have gone in. But the Hawks had possession, and a tired shift results in a quality counter play for Aksuda, and he makes the Hawks pay.
So Roman Aksuda with his first postseason goal, first career playoff goal. Bouncing puck now to the Canucks zone. Near point, Chelios' one-timer is blocked by Jeff Cordnall. And corralled by Cullimore, clearing it ahead. Russ Cordnall over the line. Dropped it back, Linden a drive, and he blasted it wide of the net. Now the Hawks 2-on-1 the other way. A lead for Craven missed him as he couldn't corral the attempt from Nichols. Now the Vancouver zone, Linden bounced it back to the Hawk line. Chelios chipped it in. Cullimore's on it. Gave it to Babbage, who shot it to center, and Jeff Cordnall was knocked down there on a nice hit from Gerald Didick. Now Weinrich looks for Didick, who didn't see the pass coming. And the Canucks Hedican. And it's stripped away by Graham to Nichols. Nichols centered it. Here's Sutter. The pass was behind him, and he couldn't field it. Now Jeff Cordnall able to bounce it back to center ice. Hawks throw it in. Here's Babbage. Put it around the boards. Didick scurries to keep it in there. Got it into the near corner. And a host of players wrestle for it there. Now Dirk Graham wins the puck, centered it, and Didick too well covered. Sutter keeps it in, moved to the side of the net, centered one. It didn't get through the trap. They kicked that, they score, and the Hawks are back in the hunt. Gerald Didick, after somebody kicked at it, he might have gotten a piece, either he or Savard, and the Blackhawks now back to within one at 3-2.
Brent Sutter had taken the point while the defenseman Didick was in deep. Good play. Then he came in after Didick went to the front of the net. The Canucks didn't have anybody there. Sutter kicked at it, went to the bottom of the near circle, tried to put it out front, and it went to Didick, and Didick snapped it through the legs of McLean, and it's a 3-2 game with only 47 seconds left in the second period. So Didick scores against his former mates. But Brent Sutter with a great play to take his point, then come in to keep the play alive, and Didick with a long reach was able to snap the wrist shot past a startled Kirk McLean.
You know what else, too, partner? Before that, just the start of that sequence, about 6 players in the corner, and what an effort by Dirk Graham. He and Jeff Cordnall really had a duel going, and Graham won that puck to keep the sequence alive for Chicago, and it results in a Gerald Didick goal. So what a second period we've had, with has half a minute remaining now as the puck is cleared into the Vancouver zone. And now back of the goal, it's cleared to the near side where Baronic able to bounce one to center ice. Chelios flipped it ahead. Poulin to the line, had it stripped away there. 5 seconds left as the Hawks hammered around the boards, and that will do it for a very eventful second period. Goals have been few and far between in this series, but not in this period, as 5 are scored, 3 of them by Vancouver. So the Canucks attempting to stay alive in this postseason, will take a 1-goal lead into the third.
Well, come on out and see not only a great golf course, but some great play and some wonderful people to get some great autographs. For your drive home, it's Peter Brown from 4 to 7 weekdays on Sports Radio 1000 WMVP, Chicago sports leader. Chris Chelios with 25 minutes of ice time in this game. A little less in the second than the first, but Bure has had 19 minutes. Linden 17 and a half. Chelios 25-14. 13 for Roenick, 15 for Nichols, and 15 and a half for Murphy.
And Dale, they have changed the Vancouver goal that we wondered about earlier. Their second goal, which was a power play goal, they had originally given it to Jeff Brown, but they rightfully changed it to Roman Oksuda. So Oksuda now has 2 goals in the game. And Vancouver takes a 3-2 lead into the third, and I don't see Pavel Bure on the ice or on the Vancouver bench. So we've not gotten a report yet, but Bure, who left the game late in the second, has not returned to the bench here to start the third as the draw is controlled by the Canucks. And they clear it into the Chicago zone. Belfort trying to shoot it himself, but couldn't get it out. Came to the near side. Momesso threw it in behind the goal. Then it came to the side where Belfort covers it up.
Short shifts, I think, will be the situation for Vancouver, the Blackhawks. And right away, 31 seconds, the change. I think that's what needs to be done here in the third for the Blackhawks. Short, quick, and get a lot of people involved.
Well, the other thing they'd like to do certainly is one thing Daryl Sutter talked about right at the start of this series. He said whichever team can impose their style and their will on the other is going to win this series. So far, it's been a defensive series, and that suits the Blackhawks just fine. That second period of run and gun, that suits Vancouver better. Here's Jeff Brown, a long shot. Belfort made the glove save and held it.
The Canucks had a commanding edge in the third period in the last game, and they had an edge in the second period of this game, and it was wide open end to end. Vancouver with a 2-1 lead or a 1-goal lead does not sit on it. They like to try and add to it, and they'll give up the odd man break as they did in the second period on a few occasions, especially late, and the Hawks were able to make them pay and get a goal in the last minute of play of the second period.
That Mike Pekka face-off win a moment ago, a rare face-off victory for Vancouver. How about this in the first 40 minutes? The Hawks with 30 face-off victories, only 15 for Vancouver. Well, the Hawks with a great job on face-offs, and here's the play in the Hawk zone. Savard rolled it loose behind the net to Chelios. He looks for Weinrich. Now Graham, hounded by Pekka. The Hawks have trouble moving it out of their own end, and now can't. And behind the net is Weinrich. Eric Weinrich moved it to Savard, feeding Graham up the left wing boards. Fires it in there, hoping for Brent Sutter. He's locked up, then it's taken by Savard, who centered. Oh, and it just hopped behind Graham, or he was all alone in front. Now the Canucks look to counter. Russ Courtnall over the Hawk line. And they just rolled it in behind the net. Over to the far side, Sutter, or I should say Savard, who couldn't get it out. Now Russ Courtnall in the deep slot. Got help from Babbage to Baranek, who shoots, missed the net. Rebound to the near board, and Patrick Poulin was stopped at center ice. Canucks able to shoot it back into Chicago territory. Here's Smith back of the net. Smith goes up the middle to Roenick. He left it for Poulin, who gets the line. Poulin to the near side, flipped one for Amani. He was turned around on the play, couldn't find the bouncing puck. Now has it behind the net. Amani walks in front, fell down as he was ready to shoot it, trying to make a quick turn. Linden the other way, over the line to Baranek. Good poke check by Gerald Diddick for Chicago. And Patrick Poulin now circles in his own end, fired it to an open wing, took a funny hop, and it went right to Roenick, who sidesteps a hit. Jeremy Roenick 3-on-3 to the Vancouver line. Unable to get any further than that. Jirke Lume will clear it to center ice. Browning throws it in. Keith Carney's on it. Put it to Jim Cummins on the right wing boards. Feeding Russell. Cam Russell sends it into Canuck territory. Gerke Lume behind the net. Lost the handle, but McLean swept it out of the goal crease, and it shot back into the Hog zone. Carney. With a pass just off the stick of Cummins. And Vancouver's Tim Hunter lost it at center to Shantz. Gets back over the line. Jeff Shantz to the deep slot. Looks for Cummins, moving in. Shoots. McLean with the save. Rebound controlled by the Canucks, and Hunter clearing it back into the Hog zone. Ojik racing for it. Tried to send one right in his Pekka. Now stopped. Centered it. Tipped this wide by Ojik. He had the near side as a target, but tipped it just outside the post. And the puck is then shot into the crowd. It's early in the third. It's 3-2 Vancouver.
Vancouver, their best line again. Ojik, Pekka, and Jelena. And a good play by Pekka to pick it up. Stop. Weinrich dove past him. And then he put it out front to Ojik, who redirected it and just missed the near post by inches.
Now the face-off in the Chicago zone. Rolled to the net, and Belfour will smother it there. So they get ready to the left to Belfour. Nichols and running. And here's the face-off right to Mamessa, whose backhander was blocked by Belfour, and the puck cleared to center. Now Weinrich in his own end with it. Lost it to Ronning. Ronning in the far corner, dancing on Weinrich. Center, too hot to handle for Linden. Came to Lume on the near side. Got it to the corner and Ronning. Cliff Ronning. Took a bump from Weinrich. Now Linden came away with it. He ran into Chelios, though, and the puck cleared back to center ice. Canucks able to shoot it in, and a penalty as Lume just cross-checked Nichols with a retaliation maneuver, and another poor penalty taken by the Canucks. And as they control, the whistle sounds. Way behind the play, I'll tell you, Rob Schick has really been on it in terms of penalties off the play in this game, Dale. He has not missed much at all.
Nichols chasing Lume. Keep it going, and then Lume cross-checks him. Not much of a cross-check, but the attempt, I think, more than anything, put the arm of Schick in. That one there, I don't know. That could have been let go, but it's the 8th power play of the game for the Blackhawks. So 16 power plays in these 2 games in Vancouver. They have scored 1 power play goal, none this afternoon. Oh, great chance for the Blackhawks to tie it up, trailing 3-2. 3 goals by Vancouver in the second period, 2 by Oksuda and 1 by Brown. Craven and Diduck have the Blackhawk goals. Diduck's goal coming in the last minute of the second period.
Let's see if the Hawks employ what Gary Suter suggested to you between periods, which is when you're struggling on the power play, shoot at every opportunity. Let's see how they work this one as Roenick carries it over the Vancouver line. Got it around the boards. Nichols left it behind the net. Now Roenick to the near point for Steve Smith. Nice feed to Chelios, far point. Into the corner, and Craven leaves it there for Nichols. Bernie Nichols behind the net to Roenick. He takes a look centered, rolled into the goal crease. Canucks sweep it out of there, and then they clear it.
McLean had lost his goal stick. The Hawks were unable to take advantage of it.
Chelios is unchallenged to center. Put it to Murphy over the line. He sends it behind the net. Brown jammed it loose to the far point, held in by Chelios. Up the boards to Murphy. Joe Murphy, side of the net to Nichols, centered it. Oh, good play by McLean. Steve Smith had snuck in there. McLean blocked the feed. Now Murphy a shot. And the left arm of McLean was there. Back to the line. Smith held it in. To the far board, and Murphy dropped it to Chelios. He banked one to Nichols on the near side. Now Roenick in the corner. Jeremy Roenick to Nichols. And Russ Courtnall trying to hound him. He did, and the puck is cleared back to center. 20 seconds left on the Hawk power play. Chelios carries it over the Vancouver line, fakes, then ran out of room. He's sent to the ice with a crunching hit from Merzen, and the Canucks able to clear. That'll do it for this power play. Both teams are at full strength now. Tony Amani up the right wing boards, has the line, then centered one and hit a leg, and McLean the save. Then Poulin chipped it wide, and it's cleared back into the Hawk zone. Hawks nearly caught a break there as a pass hit a Vancouver player, but McLean with the left skate able to make a good stop. Here comes Amani cutting in, but he was stripped away by Cullimore. Cleared to the near point. Carney is there. His long centering attempt tipped right through the crease by Amani. And on the far side, Cullimore jammed loose to Ojic. Ojic cleared it to center, and Jelena. His return pass is broken up. And Savard the other way. Steps over the Vancouver line, left it for Poulin. And his speed deflects to Amani. Beating Carney with a long shot. Missed the net. Rebound taken by the Canucks, and Ojic able to clear it to the Hawk line. Merzen for Vancouver. Gets it into the Chicago zone. Bounce went too far for Baranek. Brent Sutter picked it up. Looks for Daze. He outlets to Graham. Dirk Graham to the Canuck line. Lume took it off his stick. 8 minutes gone by here in the third. Still a 3-2 Vancouver lead. As Didick plays at center. Sending it in. They say he was short of center, and an icing call made against Chicago. 11.5 remaining in the third.
8 power plays in this game for the Blackhawks, 0 for 8. And that's one of the reasons why they're trailing 3-2 with 11:33 remaining here in the third period.
And the draw taken by Smith deep in his own end. Around the boards for Graham. Now it's cleared to center ice where Ronning scoops it right back in. Smith took a big hit from Linden, but Craven got there to pick it up. Gave it back to Smith. Now to Graham on the left side. Putting it to Craven over the line. Craven far board stops and centers. Too far for Graham. Came to the near corner, and Cliff Ronning sends it around the boards. All the way back into the Hawk zone, and Belfour out to beat Momesso to the loose puck. Now Jim Cummins on the right wing boards. His pass picked off by Jelena. And he bangs it back into Blackhawk territory. Eric Weinrich got it to Jeff Shantz, who tried to dump it in, but hit linesman Swede Knox instead. Ojic the other way. Ran into some traffic at the Hawk line. Now Chelios deep in his own end. And we've reached the halfway point of the third period. Vancouver 3, Chicago 2. All the scoring came in the second period of this game. Shantz tried to center when Cummins a shot. He just missed the far post as Cummins got away from his check, but just put a shot outside the target. Pekka the other way, moving in, shooting. Belfour stopped it and plays it to Chelios. Now to Cummins, who got it to Amani. Amani circling with it, looks for Roenick. He chipped it to Amani over the line, but he was bumped off the play nicely by Aksuda. And Lume the other way into the Hawk zone. Carney able to take it off his stick. Keith Carney bounced it ahead. Here's Amani with half a step trying to move in there. Center one, open net. Here's a shot, and a goal was saved by Merzen. Rebound Roenick. He scores! Jeremy Roenick picked up the rebound as McLean seemed to have trouble getting back into his goal. Russell's shot was stopped by Merson, but Roenick got the carom and banked it in. We are tied at 3.
Well, Jim Cummins missed a great chance, and then some good effort here because of the speed of Roenick and Amante. Amonte's good speed on a feed from Carney, who carried the puck beautifully up ice, got it to Amante. Amante faked the shot. The puck came off the end boards on the Russell shot off the stick of Merson. Murphy flipped it out to Roenick. Roenick shoveled it from a sharp angle and hit McLean, who had his back to him. But Russell had a goal stopped by Merson, who played goal. McLean dove to his left, was sliding, couldn't get back to his right, and then had his back to Roenick. It hit him and into the net to tie it up for Roenick's first goal.
It was assisted by Russell and Amante at 10:49. And Hawks, once trailed by 2, now have tied the game. Here's the draw. Taken by Smith in hhis own zone. He just safely cleared it back into the Vancouver end. And Jeff Brown is behind the net. Brown gave it to Linden. Trevor Linden got it into the Hawk zone. And it's cleared back to the Vancouver line. Dave Babbage got it to the Hawk line. Smith there. Got it to Murphy, crossing into the Vancouver zone. Murphy just hog-tied by Ojic, and then it's taken away and cleared to center. Now Babbage in his own end with it. Got it to Jelena, whose feed doesn't connect. And here's Poulin over the line. Bump, but carried on by Savard. Fakes, walks in, shoots. He just missed the near post. Rebound to the corner. Daze got to it there. Jammed it loose to Savard, but it's knocked off his stick. And back to center. Marcellio shoots it in. Taken by Babbage to the right side. Russ Courtnall couldn't find it. And Chelios does in his own end. Cleared it into the Vancouver zone. And Lume back for the Canucks. Jyrki Lume got to center and shot it in. To the near side, Roenick couldn't find it. Held in by Lume. His long shot deflecting off Amante. Back into the Canuck zone. Now Chelios feeds Roenick to center. He chipped it ahead to Amante on left wing over the line. Dropped it back to Roenick. He looks for Carney. And the pass a tweener. He couldn't field it cleanly, but still centered. Lume in front to steal it. Cleared it back to the Hawk line. Jim Cummins had it hop over his stick at center. Now gets it into the Canuck zone. Cummins moves in, shoots it, deflected wide. Rebounding to Sutter. Far point to Russell. He flipped it into the corner. Cummins is wrapped up by Linden. Then Craven came up with it. Chipped it to the side of the net, and McLean will glove it. And hang on, we're down to 6 minutes remaining in regulation time.
Rejuvenated Blackhawk team. Wide open second period, but the Hawks have had much better the play here in the third. They've had most of the chances, and they've battled back to tie it up with 6:15 remaining.
Sutter won a draw to Diddick, who shoots, and a save by McLean. Oh, Gerald Diddick got all of that, but McLean a fine stop.
He had all kinds of time, Diddick. Faceoffs have been a big plus for the Blackhawks. Brent Sutter won it cleanly, but no one came to Diddick. He cranked it up, looked, and tried to go high. McLean, a rare time down on his knees, was able to make the save with the glove above his head.
Here's Graham working hard to center it. Poulin couldn't find it. Now taken by Momesso. Got it to Linden to Ronning. Flip Ronning up the left wing board. Crossing the line. Quick turn on the far side. Trying to center. Oh, and Momesso just barely able to tip that to the near side. Now back of the Hawk net is Smith. Steve Smith works his way to center and sends it in. Babbage is on it. Put it to the far side, and Aksuda, or I should say Ojic, chipped it to center, and now Babbage got to it, but couldn't advance it. Back into the Vancouver zone goes Cullimore. He whipped it ahead to Babbage at center ice. Dave Babbage shoots it in, hoping for Ojic. Chelios first there, but couldn't get it out. A centering attempt, deflected right in front of the net. They scramble for it. Here's a shot. Belfour, what a save! And he holds on. After a big scramble, all of a sudden, Jelena found the puck on his backhand all alone, and Belfour with a lunging save to his right.
Belfour was very alert, even in traffic. The puck just lay loose. They hacked at it, couldn't clear it. And Belfour moved to his right, kept the stick on the ice along with the blocker, and covered a lot of ground. Chelios failed to clear. It was kept in, deflected to the middle of the net. Belfour just stayed ready, was not moving, and then reacted quickly to his right. And no wasted motion there by Belfour. He just stayed ready and was able to go to his right quickly.
5 minutes now left in the third. We're tied as Cullimore shoots one. Save. Belfour. Rebound for Roenick. Belfour got a piece of that. Rebound taken by Roenick. He cleared it, not out. Jeff Courtnall put it back behind the net. Came to the near side. And out comes Roenick to center. Jeremy Roenick over the Vancouver line. Babbage gave him a good jolt along the boards. And on the far side, Chelios keeps it in. Tried to feed Roenick, but he didn't have a stick on the ice. And Russ Courtnall now able to wind his way to center ice and shoot it in. Belfour trying to stick handling. Traffic had a problem almost, but here comes Amani with it to Sutter. Brent Sutter over the Vancouver line. Offside was Amani, and the whistle sounds. 4:14 left in the third period. Hawks 3, Canucks 3 on the Blackhawk Network.
Belfour with a dump in off the boards. Handles the puck very well. It's a big plus to the defenseman. But in traffic this time, Courtnall and both Courtnalls harassed him, but he was able to muscle it to the corner, and the Hawks were able to clear.
Dirk Graham trying to send it ahead. It deflected, came back to Graham over the line, cuts in, stick handle. Oh, and at the last second, Merzen poke checked him. Now Sutter behind the net. Brent Sutter jammed it loose, leaves it for Graham, and again Merzen knocked it off his stick. Came to the near side. Graham working hard, trying to center one, but Lume stole it. Put it to the far board, held in by Sutter. Now they wrestle along the end boards, and Momesso hacked at it, couldn't get it out. Came loose to the Canucks, and Linden works 3-on-3 to center. Putting Ronning to the line. He went down as the fans hollered for a penalty, but the play allowed to continue as it bounces at center to Hedican. Gets it into the Hawk zone and ran out of room there as Didick came to cut him off. And Eric Daze bending off a hook to center ice, able to slide it ahead. And Cummins trying to hold it in, but didn't quite, and the whistle sounds.
3 minutes left here in a 3-3 tie. The Hawks with the lone goal. Roenick is first from Russell and Amonte at 10:49. Trying to finish off the Vancouver Canucks. Canucks trying to stave off elimination to force it to a Game 5. And this could possibly be the last game ever in this Pacific Coliseum if the Blackhawks were able to win one of these next two games.
Now the draw, controlled by Eric Weinrich. Weinrich gave it to Chelios, who shoots it in there. Jeff Brown hacked it up the boards, held it by Weinrich, shooting, and a save. Oh, and the rebound just eluded Jeff Shantz, and it's cleared to center ice. And it's dumped over the glass and into the crowd.
Another quick shift. Jeff Shantz almost got the go-ahead goal. Coming from the left point, the save by McLean, the rebound attempt hacked to the front of the net, just up the middle of the ice, almost hit Shantz. And Chelios trying to flip it back in deep, angled it into the seats, so the faceoff goes to the Blackhawk side of the neutral line, the red line, in front of the penalty benches on the far side.
And Nichols, Craven, and Murphy out against Ronning, Linden, and Momesso. Here's the draw taken by Chelios back in his own end. Chelios up the middle looking for Murphy. Moves in on Hedekin. Murphy stops but lost the handle on it. And it's cleared in behind the Vancouver goal. Here's Brett Hedekin. Had trouble, so he kicked it to the near side, and it's captured by Linden, who was stopped at center. Now Brown flipped it ahead. Weinrich trying to get it out, just did, and Linden is back in offside.
And both teams now wanting to get it in deep to dump in. Will be a good play here in the remaining 2 minutes. Pavel Bure has not returned since injuring himself late in the second period. Really kind of a strange play. He went down with no one really around him. It must have been an injury that occurred a couple of shifts prior to that, I think when he collided with Ed Belfour. And he has not returned. The Blackhawks had to play this game without Gary Suter, who's going to miss at least 3 weeks.
Now it's dumped into the Chicago zone. Russell tied up in the corner, but gets some help there as puck is cleared to center. Now taken by Jeff Cornell, but Cummins stripped it away. Jim Cummins has had a good third period, or that was Savard rather. And now here comes Jeff Cornell the other way looking for Baranek. Moving into the corner on Russell. Now Jeff Cornell has it. Leaves it for Baranek. Joseph Baranek to the deep slot. Jeff Cornell center with a shot. Big save by Belfour on Russ Cornell. And Amati able to sweep it to center ice with 1:20 left in regulation time. Amati now in his own end. Lost the handle. Russell able to get to it, however, and managed to clear it back into the Vancouver zone. And Lume will have to play it. And we're going to the final minute of regulation time. Canucks fire it back the other way, but they were short of center, and icing will be called here against Vancouver.
Well, the Hawks have done very well in faceoffs, a 2-1 margin in victories in faceoffs for most of this game. And now they've got a chance to win one and get a quality shot at McLean. So we're in overtime by all accounts with 54 seconds left. The next goal wins here in this situation. Jeremy Roenick's goal at 10:49 of this period, the tying goal. Craven and Diddick, the other Blackhawks scorers. Brown with 1 and Oksuda with 2. Most scoring in the first. 5 of the goals were scored in the second.
Sutter and Linden now to the left of McLean. And Sutter won the draw. Chelios far point moves to the deep slot, put it to Smith, moving in, he shoots, and a save by McLean. Jeff Brown went down to block that shot. Smith tried to go upstairs with it. Good save by Kirk McLean.
11-7 now face-off victories for the Blackhawks in the third period, but they've been dominant in the first 2 periods. Brent Sutter wins it. Then Poulin does a good job of tying up Momesso, so Chelios can make a move to the middle of the ice to Smith. Brown goes down, and I don't know how McLean ever saw that. It got by Brown and made it tough for McLean, but good reaction with the glove hand. Now the face-off moves to the near side. And now Linden against Brent Sutter for the draw.
And they get ready. Here it is. Linden able to get control of this one, feeding Baranek, who got it to center. Momesso shoots it in. Dirk Graham put it behind the net to Chelios. Far side to Poulin with half a minute to go in the third. Rink wide pass on the money to Graham. Steps over the line. Tried to shoot, but that hit Jeff Brown. Came to the near point. Held in by Smith. Sends it around the boards. Back of the goal, it's taken by Poulin. Poulin against Ronning behind the net. Patrick Poulin tried to center, but Ronning stole it, then couldn't get it by Chelios. 7 seconds. Near side, here's Graham. In behind. Poulin lost the handle, and that'll do it. And for the third time in 4 games in this series, 3 periods are not enough. So after 60 minutes of play, the Blackhawks in Vancouver will head on to period 4. The third period had only 1 goal, which was scored by Jeremy Roenick. His first postseason goal from Russell and Amati at 10:49. The Blackhawks credited with 4 shots on goal in the period, 6 for Vancouver, and 2 period totals, 23 shots for Chicago and 20 shots for Vancouver. Dale, we said the team's ability to impose their own style on the other would go a long way to determining the outcome. The second period, run and gun, that suits Vancouver. Here in the third, a total of just 10 or 11 shots on goal. That suits the Blackhawks style a little bit better.
Blackhawks took the initiative and inserted their style. They probably talked about it after the second period. Listen, this is Vancouver style, wide open, end to end. And the Hawks changed that tune in the third period. And I think also with Bure out of the lineup, it's a big plus as far as the Hawks are concerned in eliminating some of that open style of the Vancouver Canucks.
Let me just change one number. They've added a shot to the Hawks, so it's the 24 Hawk shots total and 20 for Vancouver. We're through 3. We're going to play some more. The Blackhawks 3, the Canucks 3 on the Hawk Network.
It's the third overtime game in this series. Joe Murphy scored the winner in game 1 at 9:04 of overtime. On the power play, Savard into Nichols in the corner. Nichols to Murphy, and the one-timer under the glove of McLean to give the Blackhawks the first victory. Game 3, the Blackhawks scored in the last minute of play in the third period to force it to overtime. And Chris Chelios was the hero, scoring the game winner at 6:22. Bernie Nichols from Murphy. Across the line, stops. The late-coming Chelios fakes the slap shot, freezes McLean, tucks it in for the game winner to give the Blackhawks a 3-0 lead. And now Vancouver trying to stay alive with overtime. Last year they were 7-1 in playoff overtime victories, and that propelled them to the Stanley Cup Finals. But the Blackhawks looking to knock Vancouver off.
And here we go with OT. Third time in 4 games it's happened, and the draw is taken by Weinrich in his own end. He's able to clear it to center, but back over the line is Linden. His shot blocked by Weinrich, trickling to the near side, and Craven sends it back the other way. And this will be an icing call against Chicago.
I think both these teams are aware what happened in the last game when the first 4 minutes were just wide open, breakaway after breakaway at either end. And they'll be a little bit more cautious to start this third overtime. 36 minutes of ice time for Chris Chelios. The good news is his ice time diminished with each period. He played 10:50 in the third period. Jeremy Roenick played 20 minutes. Murphy 21:19. Nichols just under 20. Linden with the most ice time.
Hedikin's long shot blocked by Amani, and the race is on, but Poulin trying to sweep the puck to him, missed it. And now back into the Hog zone it goes. Taken by Gerald Didick. Belfort tried to go down behind his own net. Rob Schick says play on, and it's dumped into the Vancouver zone. Jeff Brown. Bump behind the play. Behind the net, then Didick a long bouncing shot, and it's swept aside by McLean. And the Canucks will clear it back into the Hawk end. Almonte ahead to Poulin, looking for Roenick. He gets the line, but his pass is broken up. And then carried on by Smith, who shoots it in there. And got a good bump from Cullimore in the process. And Vancouver's Momesso to the right side. Russ Courtnall bouncing puck. Smith able to corral it. Steve Smith now moved it to Savard. He's got the line. Savard left it for Sutter, and he couldn't get to the feed. It's broken up. And now corralled by the Canucks, Cullimore. Able to clear it to the center ice area. Baronic will chip it in. Here's Keith Kearney. His pass stolen by Ronning. To Linden, side of the net, trying to walk in front. Savard able to prevent that from happening. Now to the near corner it goes. And Linden had it taken away by Sutter, feeding Graham. Dirk Graham able to get it back into Canuck territory. Dana Merzen got it to Jeff Courtnall, who was knocked flat by Dirk Graham, and then the puck deflects, and the whistle sounds.
Well, Vancouver trying to stretch the series, trying to make this not the last game in the Pacific Coliseum. They have to win the next 2 games to make sure of that. And last year, their overtime success propelled them into the Stanley Cup Finals. So far, the Blackhawks have had the edge, winning the first 2 overtime games. That makes them 7-3 since last April in overtime in the playoffs.
Now it's cleared into the Canuck zone. Lume racing, but Murphy able to touch it to save icing. And then Ronning came away with it to Jeff Courtnall. Got it to center, and the Canucks dump it in. Chris Chelios tried to clear it. It deflected up over the glass and into the crowd.
And the faceoff stays in the Blackhawks zone. The Hawks have done a marvelous job on faceoffs this afternoon.
So far, the unofficial count shows Chicago 41 faceoff victories to just 24 for the Canucks. This one will be to the left of Ed Belfour. Nichols and Ronning ready, and Nichols won this draw. Into the corner goes Weinrich against Linden, and Eric Weinrich jammed it loose, but Ronning gets to it. Cliff Ronning works behind the net, now walks in front, shoots. It deflected wide. Rebound to the near board, and Murphy cleared it to center, where it's taken by Nichols over the line. He was stopped by Merzen. Now on the far board, Nichols walks to the slot, and now had it stripped away at the last second by Ronning. He outlets to Linden. Trevor Linden in on Weinrich. Moves in shooting, and a save by Belfour, and he'll hang on to it. There, we have talked about the play of Eric Weinrich throughout this playoff, but in the situation he's been thrust into today with a very increased amount of ice time, tough to say enough about his fine play.
He really has played marvelously throughout the playoffs, and played brilliantly this afternoon. And so have Smith and Didick and Kearney and Russell. I give Kearney a lot of credit. He has not played in well over a month, and he has played very, very well.
Just over 15,000 on hand here in Vancouver, trying to get the Canucks revved up. Here's Jeff Brown, a long shot. It didn't get through, and Roenick looks to counter quickly. Got it ahead to Amani over the line. Amani looking for Roenick. The pass was a tweener. He couldn't field it. Now Amani behind the net. Had it knocked off his stick. To the line. Smith with a long shot. Tipped right to the goal crease. Chipped just wide by an inch. Oh, the Hawks, Amani and Roenick were both there. And chipped it toward the open side. It missed by an inch. Object the other way. Shoots. Belfour rebound. To Brown. Belfour. How did he stop it? Now the shot sails up high to the near point. Ojic kept it in. Flipped it toward the net. It deflects to the corner. And Jeff Brown, who looked to have a sure goal a moment ago, put it around the boards. Momesso cleared it back to the far side. Taken by Didick. He got it to Smith. Steve Smith, right wing to Amani. It bounced over his stick. And Russ Courtnall got it to the Hawk line. Courtnall, top of the ring, moves in to the corner with it now and centered. It deflects to the line. Babbage with a long shot. Belfour just got a piece with a blocker. Rebound to the near side. Russ Courtnall centered it. Babbage to drive. Belfour stopped him. Rebound to the corner. Taken by Russ Courtnall. weaves to the deep slot with it. Tried to center. A diving poke check by Diddick. But then Momesso has it behind the net centering. Hawks able to steal. Dave Smith tries the near side. Cullimore kept it in there under pressure from Cummins. Now it jammed loose and is corralled by Smith. He wants an icing call but can't get it the length. And then he was knocked flat by a good hit from Pekka. And finally the Hawks send it into the Canuck zone as both teams badly in need of a change. Now Cummins works against Babbage in the corner. And a couple of others lock up. It squirts loose to Savard, walks in front of the net center. Kelly's right in. Hawks win! Hawks win again! Chris Chelios in overtime after the Savard setup. Chelios again with a great read, sensing the play developing, found the open ice. Savard found him. Hawks are into the Western Conference Finals.
Dirk Graham with great work along the boards to freeze it, tie it up. It was pried loose, then Savard with a nifty maneuver to get open, and then slip it to Chelios, who read the play once again and put it through McLean. But Ed Belfour with a couple of brilliant saves, while the Canucks had tremendous pressure, and he's responsible in a big way. The Blackhawks couldn't get out of their zone for about a minute and a half. Belfour stopped Brown from scoring in overtime, and the Hawks counter. Chris Chelios, second straight overtime winning goal, and what a play from Dennis Savard to put Chelios in, and Chelios put it low through the legs of McLean and into the net. And the Hawks sweep the Canucks for the last ever game in the Pacific Coliseum.
And now the ceremonial handshake taking place. And I'll tell you, partner, a 4-game sweep, when that is said, it's a fact. It is also not an accurate reflection of the play in this series. There's no doubt about it that it could have certainly been a very different story, but the miraculous play of Ed Belfour in this overtime, the miraculous play of Ed Belfour in Game 3, especially late, helping the Hawks to win 3 games in overtime out of the 4 victories that they had. Man, oh man.
Well, the last 5 periods, they've never led in this building. After Craven tied it up in the last minute, they won. This afternoon, they trailed 3 times and battled back to tie it up on 3 different occasions. And then after Ed Belfour made a couple of key saves, when Amandi missed scoring the winner by inches, the Canucks countered. Jeff Brown with a shot that Belfour somehow got a piece of. And then after that, Dirk Graham pinned up with Cullimore. Would not let the puck be frozen. He kicked it loose to Savard. Savard, nice maneuver around Courtnall to Chelios, and Chelios put it through McLean and into the net. But I think Cummins might have gotten a piece of that puck after Cullimore and Graham were tied up. Cummins in the corner might have pried that loose to Savard, but a brilliant play from Dennis Savard to give it to Chris Chelios for his 2nd straight overtime winning goal.
And Dale, such a similar play as Chelios, just with a perfect read, the sense for what was developing, knowing the time to break to open ice, and twice in a row he did that, and a pass found him right on the doorstep and he pumped it home. Amazing
Performance from Chris Chelios. Oh, I bet you he played 40 minutes.
Yeah.
He had 36 plus going into the overtime, and was on the ice at least 90% of the time in the overtime.
And Dale, we talked about Ed Belfour, and don't forget what he did in here in OT.
Amandi just failed to score, and then the counterplay. Ojek, who had a really good series, shot. Belfour made the save. The puck flipped out. Diddick was there. I don't know how Belfour got a piece, but he was screened. He just dove to his left, got the paddle down in the blocker, and prevented it from going in. And Jeff Brown thought he had scored the winning goal. But then the Hawks were able to counter. Great work, board work, corner work, whatever you want to call it, by Graham and Cummins, and then Savard and Chelios combining. The players that were traded for each other, one of the blockbuster deals in the history of the game, combined for the winning goal.
Well, the Blackhawks get a Chris Chelios overtime winner for the 2nd straight game in Vancouver. Chelios with his 3rd postseason goal, assisted by Savard and Graham at 5:35. And in 5.5 minutes of OT play, there were 5 shots on goal for the Canucks and 3 for the Blackhawks. The total's 27-25, favoring Chicago. Well, the Chicago Blackhawks are into the Final Four. They're into the Western Conference Finals, most likely against the Detroit Red Wings. Your final score today in overtime, 4-3 Hawks. Dale and I'll be back to wrap it up on television and radio in just a moment on the Happy Chicago Blackhawk Network.
Our player of the game and our save of the game by Ed Belfour. There's a lot to pick from, but in the early going made this stop on Jeff Courtnall. Trevor Linden makes the pass to Courtnall. Ed Belfour fights through the traffic, finds the puck, makes the save. That is our Southwest Airlines save of the
Almost
game.
improbable come-from-behind victory today propels the Chicago Blackhawks into the Western Conference Finals. Chris Chelios, 2 overtime winners in the series, and the Blackhawks performers along the boards is what set it up.
Well, Jim Cummins pried that puck loose after Graham pinned Collmore, and then Savard with a great play to get around Jeff Courtnall, and Chris Chelios, reading the play perfectly, was able to move in. But a winning goal for Chelios, second straight winning goal in overtime, and jubilation and elation. You can take any adjective, and Chris Chelios had a brilliant series, a brilliant game, close to 40 minutes of ice time, I would guess. He had 36 plus after regulation and played most of the overtime. An amazing athlete, an amazing victory for the Blackhawks, and now they have a chance